Sup nerds, I'm Wes.
Tom.
Today we're building sand castles in the sand in Find Sand by Stronghold Games.
Find Sand, if you don't know, is, well, I don't know if it's the first deck unbuilder, but it's definitely the first I've played that's a deck unbuilder. You're not building your deck, you start with the deck, and the whole point is to get that deck down to 0.
And Xenon Profiteer is kind of like
Xenon
that.
Profiteer, you still
wanted to build it and then tear it back down.
Yeah,
again.
you wanted to take stuff out. You wanted to take specific stuff out of it, but you still started with the small and built up the, put in the stuff you wanted to take out of it, and then took that stuff out.
And there is zero purchasing into your deck. There's just purchasing things out of your deck.
Right. And everybody starts with the exact same cards, so you can actually play this game simultaneously all your turns. They give you like a component to do that and tell you how to do that. So, you put this out in the middle when you're taking your turn and you pull it back in, which does mean that there isn't a whole lot of player interaction. There's a few cards that'll let you pass cards over to somebody else and like affect other players, but very little.
They also give you this little ring here because during the game you draw up depending on what cards you have here, and then you choose to either build or do an additional draw step, and you can add things into that draw step, and then you discard down to your hand size. And this little fun ring thing, they even say in the rules, like, look, we've played it without the ring thing. We know it's really fiddly. However, whenever we play without it, like at some point somebody messes up and does both actions because they forget. So I also was like, man, do we really need to use this? But again, the rules say you're going to mess up if you don't. So
given that I review games, I try my best not to watch reviews of a game that I need to review by other reviewers, right? Because I don't want to be swayed by their opinion. Or more so, I used to. Now, I kind of think what I think, and I'm not going to hear somebody else say something and go, oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah, maybe I think that way too. I don't know. I'm pretty much stern on my opinion. Like right when out the gate, I get my opinion. I'm like, that's it.
You're pretty bullheaded.
Because
people Tom's right and that's right, and there is no wrong.
But also, like, it used to be like, ooh, don't tell me what you think because I don't want you to affect it. And I don't want to tell you what I think. But now we don't do that anymore. Like, if I play a game, I live in Orlando, I play a game, I'll text Wes immediately. This game was good. This game sucked, All that to say, we're filming this after the Dice Towers review, Tom Vasel's review. And he was saying, it was fun the first time, but after a while, it's just the exact same thing over and over again. You want to build these greens are really powerful, purples are really powerful, blues if you gotta, and then this, -1 coin card is really strong in the reds, and you build a lot of reds towards the end so you can burn out a lot of cards. So it's the same thing over and over and over again. And that's kind of true. I would have said that, like in the very first turn, purple is actually almost a little bit more powerful because it at least lets you hold cards, and maybe you can get stuff out faster. But yeah, there is kind of a lot of the same thing. However, there are those Fable cards that you can add in later, little bits at a time that increase the complexity and they change the things that you can do. But how big of a negative is it that it's, the same, that it's extremely familiar?
I would have the same thing with like the Star Realms base game at this point with us. Like, we know every card in the deck. When there's certain cards flop out, I know that like I have to buy this card because it is the superior card in the lineup to buy. And I think any game that you play 10 times, not any game, but most deck builders or smaller games or anything like this level of complexity, it's gonna kind of be the same thing again and again, unless there's like super heavy player interaction. But even like Risk, okay, well, these are gonna be the chokeholds, someone's gonna hole up in Australia, like those things are gonna happen. And I do feel like the Fable cards help mix it up. And even, like, it's an exercise in efficiency to, like, how refined can you get this? Especially, like, playing me versus Tom, because I don't think it's necessarily fair to bring in, like, a green player if we're, like, going, like, super intense with it.
A green, like someone who's sick?
No, like, if they're, like, new. If it's, like, a brand new gamer or an intro gamer or...
I knew what that meant. I just wanted to do my awful joke. Now we're talking about it.
I see where he's coming from. I can see getting to that point. At this point in my board gaming life, I guess you could say, I don't play the same game enough times to even get to that point. Like, playing a game 10 times is like, it's got to be a really good game. So, take it or leave it.
Also, there's Fable cards. There's 20. I just had to check. There's 27 different cards.
Yeah.
And you add them in 3 at a time, and it says to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, because they're numbered at the bottom, and the little groups of 3 is numbered 1, 2, and 3. But I don't know. You could just mix and match after a while. I haven't played with all of them, but I played with some of them, and they do alter the game. The only thing that I noticed that I haven't done much is this hand off a card to somebody else. It's the thing that you all start with. It's a way to try and add more player interaction. Okay, well, at least I can give this card over here. So it's out of my deck, and it'll only go into your deck if everybody has one that has been handed off to them. So that way we're not all, clamoring over that one person. And it wasn't until I started bringing in these Fable cards that we got the 0 coin card, but that was just kept bouncing back around because I'm going to get rid of it and you're going to get rid of it. Oh, now we both have one, so we have to put it in our thing. So that's the only other negative that I can see. But for what it is, for like a really quick, kind of unique game that you can pick up real fast and also play real fast, I think it's a lot of fun. And I think this has a really good space on my shelf and on a lot of people's shelves of just a game that has a bit of depth to it. It's not a filler game, but it almost acts as this filler game, but we know it real well. We can just go boom, 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 and we can play it real fast.
Being a like mid-level filler game, not like Love Letter,
right? Okay,
but kind of like Star Realms can be a filler game for us at this point.
Right, exactly. It is like a deep. It's a filler game for us, for the people who know it well. It becomes a filler game for them, and I think that's like a really good thing to have. You know what I mean? You don't have a lot of that, with the exception of for us Star Realms.
Yeah.
I do think that Xenon Profiteer is probably the superior version of this idea of building a deck down.
But there's still like player turns and rounds.
It's a lot longer.
And in this game, it's very much like there's not much downtime because everyone's taking their turn at the same time. And I may like, all right, I'm gonna do this and this, and now I'm done. And this turn, Tom's taking a second. Like for the most part, you're waiting no time at all for the other person to finish their turn.
Go.
So, like Xenon Profiteer again has the downtime. You can play this with 4 people, and it's no longer than playing it with 2 people. Where not many games can say that.
Now, granted, there's also a solo campaign, but I don't play solo games, so I don't know anything. I haven't tried it. Not gonna try it. So let's pretend I didn't bring it up.
So if you can't tell, we definitely think this little game is solid. Like, I think everyone should try it out. Most people, I think, opened up to it. Most people, I think, if they opened up to it, are going to enjoy it. And so if you want to pick this up, we'll have a purchase link in the box where descriptions go down below.
And hey, while you're down there, if you subscribe, bored you won't be.